Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Techie Sugan. In this video, we are going to see with previous year code vita question. This question is all about kth largest factor of n. Let us read the question in detail. A positive integer d is said to be a factor of another positive integer n if when n is divided by d, the remainder obtained is 0. So what they are given here is, if you are considering a number d, let us assume 2 and let us assume one more positive integer n and its value is 4. I can able to name this particular d is the factor of n when this particular number n is divided by d and its remainder value equal to 0. I can able to name this d is the factor of n. And next what they are given is, for example, the number 12, there are 6 factors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 and 12. Here we are considering a number called 12 and this number has 6 factors. Those are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 and 12. These are the factor of given number 12. And every positive integer k has at least 2 factors. 1 and the number k itself. If at all you are considering a number 12, it has these many factors. If you are considering one more number called 5, what are the factors for 5? 5 has only 2 factors, that is nothing but 1 and the number itself. So if at all the number is a prime number, it will have minimum of 2 factors. If at all the number is not a prime number, it can have more than 2 factors. This is a rule, right? This is what they are given so far. Let us move on further. Given 2 positive integer n and k. So from the user what you are getting? You are getting n and k. These two are positive integer. Write a program to print the kth largest factor of n. So if at all your n value is 12, let us take the same example where our n value is 12. We will take our n value is 12. If it is 12, what are the factor? We know that 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 12. These are the factor. So what we are supposed to print? Kth largest factor. Right? Kth largest factor. We know these are the factor. What is the first largest factor of given number 12? The largest factor. Factors are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 and 12 is the factor. The largest factor is, first largest factor for a given number 12 is 12. And what is the second largest factor for given number? Second largest factor for given number 12 could be 6. Is that clear? The third largest factor for given number 12 could be 4. And so on. I am supposed to come from your backward, right? So the first largest factor is 12, next largest factor is 6 and next largest factor is 4. And your fourth largest factor is 3 and your fifth largest factor is 2 and your sixth largest factor is 1. So overall how many factors this particular given number 12 has? It has 6 factors. And if at all your k value is 6, it will display 1 as your output. I hope so you people are clear so far. Now we will move on further. Here they are given your input and output statement. Input is a comma separated list of positive integer pairs n comma k. So how you people are going to accept your n value and k value? It should be comma separated. For example, if your n value is 12 and your kth factor, for example, I am supposed to find the first largest number. This could be your input format. Is that clear? And next, what should be your output? The kth highest factor of n. The kth highest factor of n. For example, if your now k value is 1, your output should be 12 should be your output, right? If your k value is 2, 6 should be your output. If your k value is 3, 4 should be your output. And they are given one more statement. If n does not have k factor, then output should be 1. For example, I have given my input as 6, 8. We people know that for the given number 12, how many factors are there? We are having only 6 factor. When I am trying to print 8th factor, 8th largest factor, there is no 8th largest factor. We are having only 6th largest factor. So what happens here? In such cases, I want 1 as my output. Is that clear? If at all I am giving some other value such a way, 12, and I am giving third largest factor, I will be having output as 4. If at all I am giving beyond the range of 6, I should display 1. This should be output. Now we will move on to the constraint part. Here the constraint part is very important because we people know finding factor is very simple, right? Just dividing a number and checking if at all the particular number is divisible, I can name it as a factor. Here what is the constraint they are given is, a constraint is where your n value can be ranging from 2 to less than, how many zeros is there? 10 zeros. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 nines. This could be a range of your n value. And range of your k value, right? Your kth value can be 1 to 600. Is that clear? This could be the range of your k value. So we are supposed to write this program in a more optimized way. Now we will see the explanation part, how to solve this. Here we people are going to look at the optimized way for finding the factor. Then we can move on to the logic for finding the kth factor. If at all the given number is 24, we people know that these are the factors of 24. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 12, then the given number. If at all the given number is 100, this could be the factor. 1, 2, 4, 5, 10, 20, 25, 50, 100. These are the factor. What are the different methods for finding the factor? Either I can able to start with 1 and iterate till the given number and I can able to find the factor, which is nothing but number of iteration we are speaking about. I can start with 1 till the given number. Here I have taken n value is 100. If at all the n value is 100, when you are choosing method 1, I am supposed to iterate n times. I mean that 100 times I have to iterate, then only I can able to find the factors for the particular number. There is one more method, that is nothing but iterating from 1 to n minus 1 times. No need of going to 100 times. I will iterate n minus 1 time and the n I will add the same number as a factor. This is the second method. And the third method is I can start with 2 to 99. So whatever the number, that number will have minimum of 2 factors, that is nothing but 1 and the number itself. So you can add separately where I can able to iterate 2 to 99 and find the factor of the given number. This is the one more method. The other method is where I can able to iterate 1 to 50 and find the factor. These are common methods which we people will be using, right? I will be iterating n times, n minus 1 times or n minus 2 times. These are the common methods. The one of the optimized method compared to the previous method is iterating till n by 2 times, not going till n minus 1 or n minus 2 or n time. I am iterating only till n by 2 times and finding the factor of a given number. How it is possible to find? By iterating n by 2 times. It is so simple. You can look at here. If the given number is 24, I am having factors of 24 only till 12. After this, I am having the same number as its factor. The same way, if at all the given number is 100, you can notice that only till 50 I am having factor. Then the given number is the factor. For this, you people know it of iterating from 50 to 100 is not necessary. After 50, I am going to have only the same number as your factor. So, iterate starting from 1 till half of the number. You can able to find the factor. After that, the given number is going to be a factor. So, this is one of the optimized method to find the factors. I am speaking about the different methods for finding factor. Either you can go with n minus 1 iteration or n minus 2 iteration or n by 2 iteration. These are the most common methods which we are using. There is one more optimized method where I can iterate only till square root of a given number time and I can able to find the factors for a given number. Why it is square root of given number time? How it is possible for us to find the remaining factor? We will see to it now. Just I will take one more example for you people. Look at here. I am going to pair my values. I know that what are the factors for 24? 1, 2, 3, 4, 24, 12, 8, 6. These are the factors, right? So what I am going to do is, if at all I know the factors till square root of the given number time. I mean that for 24, if I know the square root of the particular number till till 4, I can able to find the remaining factors of 24. The same way for 100, if I know the factors till 10, it is more than enough for me to find the remaining factors. We will see to it. Look at here. If you know this particular value, which is nothing but, let me keep this as my list 1 or list A. If I know the list A, which is nothing but square root of given number. If the given number is 24, square root of 24 gives 4. So if I find the value till 4, factors till 4, I can able to find the remaining factors. Look at here. If I know 1 is the first factor, I can able to find the list 2's corresponding value. That is nothing but, when you are trying to divide your list 1 value with 24. I mean that 24 by 1 gives you 24. 24 by 2 gives you 12, 24 by 3 gives you 8, 24 by 4 gives you 6. So if I know the values of one list to square root of a given number, it is easy for me to find the remaining element. Why I am supposed to use this method? Why can't I use other method? As we know that your constraint part is so much important here, your value of a n can be of maximum of 9 times. So what happens here? There is a probability of time complexity. So in order to avoid it, you are supposed to optimize your code in finding the factors of a given number. So now what I have told you, if you know the list 1 value, it is easy for me to find the list 2. If at all you know list 2 value, is that possible to find list 1? It is so simple. Just do this thing. Given number divide by 24 gives you 1. 24 by 24 gives you 1, 24 by 12 gives you 2, 24 by 3 gives you 3, 24 by 6 gives you 4. Clear? If you know A value, you can able to find B value. If you know B value, you can able to find A value. And similarly, if you are multiplying these two corresponding value, it gives you the original number. 1 into 24 gives you 24, 2 into 12 gives you 24, 3 into 8 gives you 24, 4 into 6 gives you 24. Is that clear? So, I am going to use only the most optimized method where I am going to iterate till the square root of a given number time, and I am going to find the factors of the number in an optimized way. Once I am finding the factor, it is easy for me to find the kth value. Is that clear? There is one more concern we people are supposed to look at it. Here for 24 it is fine. For 24, square root of 24 is 4. So till 4 I will find the factors. By using these 4 values, I can able to find the corresponding value. If at all the given number is a perfect square, for example, if at all the given number is 36, what are the factors? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 9, 12, 18, 36. So square root of 36 gives you 6. So till 6 I will have a factors in list 1 or list A. Let me keep as list 1. Till 6 I will have a factors. By having this list, I am going to find the list 2, right? So as I told you that if you know one list, it is easy for me to find the other list. I can able to find 36 by 1 gives you 36, 36 by 2 gives you 18, 36 by 3 gives you 12, 36 by 4 gives you 9, 36 by 6 gives you 6. So you can notice that your value is duplicated. So 6 is occurring twice. In such a cases, we people are supposed to concern with your perfect square number. If at all the particular number is perfect square, both the list, you should keep only in a single list. Is that clear? This is the only concern we people are supposed to look at it while you are doing the square root function for perfect square number. Now we will move on to the programming part. So, according to the given question, we are supposed to accept n and k value as positive integer with comma separated values. Now, we will move on to the programming part. Let's accept n and k value with comma separated, n comma k, and here we can accept by using map function, map, and followed by your split method. I am going to accept n and k value. After accepting a n and k value, what is the next task we are supposed to do? We are going to find the factor for a given number, but our factor we are going to make it as 2 list. So let me mention list 1 as your empty list initially and list 2 as your empty list. I am going to find a factor to the square root of a given number and store in a list 1 and list 2. Now for finding factor, let me write a loop. For I in range And what is the range of your iterator? Your iteration is going to happen starting from 1 till square root of a given number, right? For square root of a given number, either you can use SQRT method or you can go ahead with exponent of 0.5, which gives the same meaning of your square root. Clear? And if at all I'm supposed to go to 0.5, I mean that square root, I'm supposed to mention square root plus 1 since your for loop will execute only till given number minus 1. Is that clear? I am taking a number and iterating to square root of a given number time, and inside this I am going to check for the factors. For factors I am going to mention if n divisible by I. I am checking for your remainder value, and if your remainder value is equal to 0, I can name the particular number as a factor for I. So let me append to my list 1. I have found the factor and appending the particular element to my list 1. And we know that if at all 1 is the factor of 24, 24 divided by 1 gives you 24. That could be the corresponding factor of your list 2. Same way, if 2 is the factor, I know that 24 by 2 gives you 12. That is a corresponding factor of your list 2. So I can able to find the corresponding factors by using this I value. Here, let me write the corresponding factor finding. The corresponding factor finding method is, I know the value of list 1, right? So, if at all you want to find list 2, number divided by the number what you have found. So, this is what I am supposed to mention. The resultant is equal to the given number divisible of I. It gives you the equivalent factors of your list 2. So, I have found this one. After this, I told you one of the important concern. If at all the given number is a perfect square, I will be having 6 at the end and 6 will be generated one more time. In order to avoid it, I will write one if condition here. If my result not in list 1, I am supposed to insert the value to my list 2. Is that clear? Here insertion is done by using append method. It is so simple. I am finding a value is factor or not. If the particular number is a factor, by using this particular number, I am finding the corresponding value here. Clear? And I am inserting this value to your list 2, and this value will be inserted if and only if this value is not present in your list 1. This particular check is for mainly for your perfect square number. This is only for a perfect square number. I am doing this one. Clear? Now, I have found list 1 and list 2. Now, I am supposed to merge these two. I know that list 1 is in ascending order and list 2 is descending order. I am supposed to rearrange your list 2. So, let me rearrange it here. I will come out of it. List 2 dot sort. If I am mentioning this one, what happened? This data will be sorted in ascending order, and after this, I am going to merge to my list 1. So, let me use extend method and extend my list 1. Clear? For your clarification, let me print your list 1 here. Now, let us execute this program. The first input what I was supposed to accept is, it's your n value, right? So, let me give my n value as 100 and a kth position value, let it be 1 right now. Now, we are not dealing with a k, just we are checking whether your factor has been displaying. Now, if you are executing it, you can able to notice that within a fraction of second, the value for 100 has been displayed. Now, we are supposed to display the largest factor, right? Kth largest factor. Now, the first largest factor for 100 is 100. Second largest factor could be 50. We people know that this is a list of value. If at all you want to access the last element, it can be done either by using positive indexing or by using negative indexing. Here, I am going to make use of negative indexing to display the kth largest value. We will see to it. Here, let it be. For your clarification, if at all you don't want it, we can comment it later. Now, let me apply my condition. If my k value is greater than length of my list, they are given one more condition that if your k value is beyond your number of factor, I am supposed to print 1 as your output, right? So, let me print 1. If your condition is exceeding, else I am supposed to print the concerned highest factor, right? So, let me mention list 1 of Index value, let me mention minus k. As you people know that this list can be accessed either by using positive indexing or by using negative indexing. We know that this particular list has how many values? 9 values. So if you want to access this 100, either I can give list of 8. So list of 8 means 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 represents your 100 value, right? So either it can be accessed such a way, or this particular 100 can be accessed either as minus 1. Is that clear? So a list of minus 1 gives you 100. So the same list can be accessed either by using positive value or by using negative value. Here I am going to make use of the negative indexing. If at all my k value is 1, we are looking for first largest factor. The first largest factor is minus 1, which means that the largest value at your right end. Minus 2 in the sense next highest value. Now let me execute this. Give a value as 100. And let me give second largest factor. So it will be displaying 50 as your value, right? So let me check for the higher value. We are concerned about the constraint, right? Your constraint is of 9 nines. If your input value is 9 nines, what could be the speed of execution of your program? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And let me give you a first largest factor. Here you can notice that these are the factors of 9 nines and this is your first largest factor. Is that clear? Within a fraction of second is executing. Since you are going to execute only till square root of the particular given number time, your execution speed is so fast. Clear? I think so I made you people clear about this program. If at all you like this video, please subscribe to my channel and click the bell icon. Thank you.